Hi there, everyone. My name is DJ Nocturna, and thank you for tuning in to my YouTube channel. And if you're listening on my podcast, thank you as well, or Modstap Radio. My guest tonight, she's from Hawaii. She's a spiritual coach, Reiki practitioner, and a psychic intuitive reader. Davin Anderson. Hi, Davin. Thank you for joining
Hi,
me.
thank you for having me.
Yeah,
I'm
thank you
very
very
honored
much.
to be here.
Yeah, well, I'm really, we're gonna talk about one of my favorite subject matters, which is, when we dig into the hidden, and I love this kind of stuff. So we're gonna talk about the Akashic Records and a little bit of the twin flame journey. Yeah, but thank you for joining me. I really appreciate that. I wanted to talk to a little bit about yourself first. I know you mentioned to me that um, you're a psychic intuitive reader, so
Yep.
you've always had that gift. Um, being also a native Hawaiian descent, right?
Yes.
You were born and raised here.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about, a little bit about your background and how you got into the spiritual world a little bit.
So, like you're saying, I'm born and raised in Hawaii. I grew up here. My mom's side of the family is the Hawaiian side, so she's from Hawaii. She's born and raised here as well. My dad is actually from the mainland. He was born in New York in Brooklyn. And moved to California, I think when he was maybe like 11. And then when he was like in his early 20s, he came to Hawaii, and met my mom. And I still wonder to this day how they managed to get together, because they are polar opposites. But interestingly enough, my mom is where I get most of my spiritual background from. I was raised by, mostly by her. And she taught me a lot when I was very young about, about grounding, about shielding, about the violet flame, about the angels, all of that stuff. And so I had a good foundation.
Yeah.
I did have some other things that happened. Some of the things that the way my mom would teach was not exactly the easiest way to learn something. And so I kind of uh, not really rebelled, but started to block, and not really be into it as much. In fact, for many, many, many years, I could not meditate at all. Like, and to this day, I still can't do yoga.
Oh,
It's on my list of things to accomplish, because I know it's part of my healing.
mhm.
Um, but you
So,
know,
so, so why is that? How come you can't do yoga?
so as wonderful as my mom was when I was growing up, she was kind of she had a very drill sergeant approach to teaching things. So that's not really the best way to teach spiritual practice. So, there was a lot of judgment that came along with the way that I did things and stuff. And so it caused me to not even want to be around it. Like I wanted to go in the opposite direction, you know, and unfortunately it did cause a very difficult for me to progress, because I would block myself. I had a very difficult childhood growing up here, being accepted. I'm part Hawaiian, but I look very, very fair. So people look at me and assume that I'm a haole, you know,
Yeah.
and then there was that whole thing with the culture of, not really knowing my culture so much anymore, because the revival was still just occurring when I was growing up.
Mhm.
So and I went through a lot in school. I was teased a lot. So and I was a very, because I'm an empath, so I was extremely sensitive growing up, so I took things very, very you know to heart, and built up a lot of traumas over the years because of it. And my inner child, she was my protector, and she helped me put those layers on. And so through those protections, through me putting those barriers up, those walls up, that's where the blocks come from. So that's why it became difficult for me. um But I was doing stuff in high school that I didn't even know that that's what it was, like remote viewing, which is basically where you sit there and you describe something in another place, and what
Mhm.
they're doing and everything. And I would play around with my friends with this and do it for them in high school, and I didn't even know, and like until recently, that that's what that
Wow.
was, right? Um, but then after I graduated from high school, and I went into college, you know, the way that I dealt with my stresses, my daily life stresses and realities was in my dream time, because it was too much for me to be able to process during the day, because of how empathic I was, plus not an empowered empath by any means at all. I was so young, I had no idea. So
Mhm.
what would happen was I would go through it, and I would process through everything in my dreams at night. And unfortunately, when I was in my early 20s, I went through a really bad breakup. I had my heart broken, and I basically had insomnia for 6 months because I didn't want to sleep because the dreams were so bad.
Uh-huh.
And so my spiritual team, basically stepped in and started blocking my dreams. So I honestly have not been able to remember dreams in about 30 years.
Wow. I have a problem with remembering dreams too. I mean, I remember sometimes, but most
Yeah,
of the times I,
it's very rare, and I truly believe that a lot of times that the reason that is because, you know, because people like us who are extremely sensitive, who are really sensitive to the environment around us, that makes it difficult for us to process those realities, right?
Mm.
So, we do it in our dream time, because when we sleep is the most healing time in the world, you
Yeah,
know that's
that's
why it's
true.
so important for us to get as much sleep. That's when the angels do their work.
Oh, yeah. Angels are all around me. There's angels right now. I got
Yep,
the
exactly.
Yeah, I got my feather here. Okay, my
Ah,
feather.
yes, yes.
I
Yeah.
found this feather um here. So I always have it right here. But anyway,
Yeah. But basically that was, that's kind of how I progressed. And then, I was always very spiritual on the spiritual side,
mhm,
um, even though I wasn't awakened or anything yet. And even when I was in my early 30s, before I met my husband, um, I spent a time working for a psychic here in Hawaii, actually.
uh-huh.
She passed away several years ago, but
Mhm.
she's kind of was like my first mentor that I had, because I would go and I was her receptionist. And so I learned a few things from her. And then I got married, and then life happened as it always does.
Mhm.
And I mean, honestly, what happened for me was I kind of lost myself,
So
and
that's
through
like the awakening, right? That's how you get
right,
the awakening. Yeah.
right, exactly. And so basically, you know, the way that I look at awakening, because most of us, it doesn't happen until later on in life when we are at a mature level where we can finally start to heal, because
Mhm.
that's basically what awakening is that for the first time in your life, you're finally ready and strong enough to tackle the deepest wounds that you have within you, because
Mm.
that is truly how we advance spiritually, is by healing all of those things and becoming a balanced person.
Right, right, right.
So yeah, so I went through that. I basically lost my identity. I because I was a mom, I was a wife.
Mhm.
I everything was my family. I didn't really have anything to say that was mine, or that I did anymore. And so then I think it was about 2016, 2015, 2016 was when I decided that I needed to get healthy. It
Mhm.
was basically a conscious decision that I realized that I needed to make some changes. If I wanted to be around, in this life for my kids to, be able
Mhm.
to raise them and to grow up, I needed to get healthy. So I made some changes, and that was basically the beginning of my journey, to where I am now, to be able to do what I do now.
Yeah.
That was 2015 was the year that I got my first level 1 Reiki initiation. So
Okay.
it's, you
So you
know,
are a Reiki, that's a Reiki practitioner?
yes, I
Yeah.
am a Reiki practitioner.
Mhm.
And so basically what you know, and if you're not familiar with Reiki, what Reiki is it's energy healing. You know, energy is universal, universal energy, you know, it's
Mhm.
out there, it's everywhere. Anybody can give and send energy, you know, anybody can do Reiki if you're trained,
Yeah.
you know. And but what's the most important thing I think for me to say is that the level 1 is about self-healing. You know, it's about using universal energy to heal yourself.
Mhm.
You know?
Yep.
And even as a level 2, as a practitioner, when I heal other people, I heal myself because I pass that
Cool.
energy through me as I pass it on to them. So it's kind of cool. You do a double thing with it, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so here you are, and
Yep.
um, one of the most interesting topics, is the Akashic Records, and
Yes.
I always found that to be really fascinating, and a lot of people may not know what that is. So I was wondering if you can tell us a little bit about what it is, speaking from the point of view of like a person who wouldn't know at all what it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I know it.
let me straight up right now and just say that at first glance, when people dive into the Akashic Records, it can be extremely overwhelming. It is a little bit hard to wrap your mind around the concept of what the Akashic
Mhm.
Records are, because basically what it is it's everything. It's everything and anything, and it exists around us constantly. It's everywhere, you know, it's us, it's around us, it's in us, it's out there. It's like a big giant invisible computer basically that exists on energy wavelengths. And basically the Akashic Records is everyone's past, present, and future, you know. It
Is the
encompasses everything.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it's a Sanskrit word, right?
Yes, the word
For
Akasha is Sanskrit.
for ether or something like that. Ether.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um I want to say it's like the ether, it's like everything, it's like life force. Akasha, if I'm not mistaken, Akasha means life force.
Yeah. So, for those people that, they're probably going, well, what are you talking about? So, what is it, and how do we access it? Is it
um
everybody?
yeah, everybody has, anybody can access the Akashic Records, and what your own personal Akashic Records. Be very clear, don't ever try to access anybody else's because you will get banned.
Okay, so it looks like we're going into a nightclub. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
No,
There's some
no.
bouncers there waiting to check IDs. But
Okay.
no, you know, basically it's because, you know, it's all about intention. It's like, okay, so the other thing that we need to understand with this is that we have free will, no matter what, and everything that we do in whatever exists, we
Mm-hmm.
have free will. We
Mm-hmm.
have the free will to make these decisions, which is the reason why there's all, you know, there's all these different futures. The future is not exactly set in stone, you know, there's all these different possibilities depending on which paths you take, you know, which decisions you make, you know,
Yeah.
but all of those possibilities exist within the Akashic Records.
Yeah. All the different timeline,
Timelines, past, present, and
dimension.
future.
Yeah.
Yes. So when you go to the Akashic Records, you can find out about your past lives. You can find out about past karmic things that have happened to you that you need, you know, so say that you're in this life and, you know, you have some ailment or something that's been coming up and there's really no explanation for it, you know, that usually ties back to a past life karmic experience that you never healed from. So it's brought over into this life. And so by accessing the Akashic Records, that allows you to be able to access those traumas from your past so that you can heal them in the future so that you don't take them forward. You know, you can heal them in the present so you don't take them forward into the future with you. It goes, it's the same thing along with like basically healing generational trauma,
Mhm.
DNA trauma. family traumas and stuff, which is a big, huge thing.
So is this so can anybody access the Akasha records?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, anybody. It's not just for
Anybody
only.
can, you
Okay.
know, I'm always skeptical of because there's so much information that, excuse me, but I feel like it's kind of BS out there, you know what I mean? So it's really careful. But when you've come across somebody that tells you, this is the way that you have to do it, you can't do it unless you do it this way, that's when you want to run away the other way. The
Mm.
biggest, most important thing that I always try to impart on everybody is that this is a personal journey, and whatever happens to you, whatever experiences you have, that is your truth, so even on the journey that we're going to take tonight on the Akashic
Mm.
Records, it's
Mhm.
still a personal journey. What I journey to is not necessarily the same thing that you journey to. It's like what I say with anything else. When I teach about grounding, when I teach about shielding and everything, I tell everybody, I just give you a blueprint. It's up to you to take this and make it your own. Because what's important in it is that when you're doing stuff, it's all about intent, right? What is your intent behind it? And so that's why I also say that they say intentions, right? Those are your mantras that you say when you're doing your meditation and your grounding, because those have power. Whatever your intent is, whatever you say, whatever you voice creates into reality.
So I was reading about what the Akashic Records was meant, and they were saying something like is our soul's journey, our soul's library,
Yes.
and there are record keepers.
Yes.
It's almost like like you go into a library, you have a librarian, and you have people telling you, okay, this is where the records, this is where your records are, and which contains your past, your
Yeah.
present, your future.
Yeah.
And
So on the journey that we're going to take, one of the things that is going to happen is that we're going to get to a point after we rise up and go to the hall where you're going to be greeted by one of a member of your team,
okay.
whether it be a spiritual guide or a guardian angel, or anybody, any of your guides or angels, or spiritual beings that
Mhm.
assist you in your growth. They'll be the ones that'll be guiding you. They're the ones that are going to take you to your particular records. So for an example, when I did my very first Akashic Records meditation, I was greeted by Archangel Gabriel, and he was the one who took me to go and see my records. So that could be the same for you. It could be somebody else. It could be Archangel Michael. It could be your grandfather. It could be
Mhm.
anybody within your past, um, although I have to say, usually most people don't necessarily have like a major family member that's one of their guides. I am very fortunate that I not only have my dad but my grandfather as well, or our two guides that are with me, that are
And
family.
do you remember that? Do you
Yeah.
remember what? Yeah, you do. Okay. Are
Well,
people?
I mean,
Huh?
they come and visit me all the time.
No, no. I mean, when you saw them as your guide, do
Oh,
you remember?
well,
Uh huh.
Um, well, no, because I knew that they were my guides because they would come to me. So I knew that my dad was my guide before I knew that my grandfather was. But my grandfather had been my guide a lot longer. I just hadn't made that connection yet. Basically when I did my awakening, through that and through, basically learning all the hard work and stuff that I put in, and making that connection and keeping my vibe, because that's the key, is keeping your vibe high. You have to raise your vibrations as high as you can in order to make that connection. Because what it is that between the heavens up there and down here, you know what I mean? These are lower vibrations. We're on the lower vibration down here. We're up in the heavens that's the high vibrations, right? And that's what we want to strive for, is to be up there. And so when you raise your vibrations, when you raise yourself up in positivity, you get yourself closer to them. And, and the higher that you raise it, the easier it is to make that connection and to hear the messages.
So do you have to be in high vibration to see your Akashic records?
Yes,
Okay. Okay. All right.
absolutely. You got to be in high vibe.
Okay. And I know you're gonna take us in this meditation. So what are we gonna expect now? if we do this? I know it's gonna.
Okay, so it's going to be a guided meditation, so it'll be mostly me talking and guiding you along. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to go, we're going to start out with doing some breathing, because we got to get a little bit grounded. We're going to do a little bit of grounding first, and then we're going to take the elevator to the great hall.
Okay.
And when the elevator opens, that's when you see who your dude is, your dudette,
Okay.
who your guide is. That's going to guide you to your records and show them to you.
Okay. All right. So for those listening, they could also do this at home or wherever they're listening from, right?
Yes. So so when anybody at home that's listening, you can go on this journey too. And the important thing to remember is that whatever you see is what you're meant to see. Whatever visions pop in your head, whatever information you're given, that is the information that you're supposed to see. And I will not necessarily see the same thing that you see.
So
it's very personal.
are we supposed to be looking for something in particular?
Nope.
Okay. So I'm not going there to look for a certain book. If you know what I mean.
Because not necessarily, because basically what it is that how the information appears to you is different. How it appears to me in the book may be different from how it appears to you. You could see it as a computer screen, depending on what calls to you.
Okay. All right.
I will give a basic description, but it's up to you to see it from there.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna close my eyes then, right?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Is that what we got to do? Okay.
Yep. You close your eyes. Get yourself as comfortable as possible.
Well, I wish I had a bed here. I wish I could lay down.
I know, right? Yeah, it'd be a lot
How would I do that? What if I fall asleep? Because I can really get
absolutely totally okay. Because you know what? In that dream state, you're still journeying, you're still receiving. You know what I'm saying?
Just gonna sit back and be really relaxed, I guess. Yes. And how long is it gonna be?
Like I said, I don't think it'll take more than 10 minutes.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm gonna be as relaxed as I can.
Okay.
And then for all those listening, they can do this too, right?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. So you're going to get comfortable, get yourself in a nice, comfortable position, whether it be laying, sitting, whatever.
Now, if there's people out there listening from Modsnap Radio or my podcast and they're driving, I would
please do not. I do not recommend.
Yeah, please do not drive. Pull over in the side.
You cannot do this while you're driving. If you really want to do the meditation, pull over to the side of the road and park. And I promise, even if you look weird, nobody's going to care.
Yeah, or else you'll be really going on a different journey. So we don't want to. Go
yes, we don't want you to go on that journey.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to sit and we're going to take some deep breaths first.
Okay.
I'm going to take us on a grounding meditation first, because it's always good to get grounded and to connect to universal source for our energy. And then once we connect to that universal source, then we're going to journey from there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a deep breath in and deep breath out. Take a deep breath in and take a deep breath out. We're going to take a deep breath in and then take a deep breath out. Breath in and breathe out. Continue your breathing as I continue to talk and I take you on this journey that we're going to go on. So the first thing that I want you to do is to visualize yourself with this ethereal cord that comes off of your body, that's as big around as your body is. And this cord is going to go down into the earth. You're going to go down through the top layer, with the dirt and the rocks and the sediment. You're going to go down even further through each layer, through each rock, all the way down to the center of the earth. And in the center of the earth, there's a big giant cavern that opens up. And this is where the molten lava is. And in the center of this cavern, there's a giant shaft of light. And this light is universal love light energy. I want you to take that cord, your cord, and I want you to lasso it around the shaft of light. And I want you to visualize that light from the universe lighting up your cord and shooting all the way back up, going out the cavern, through each layer of the earth, going all the way up through all the rocks and the dirt and the soil and the sediment, all the way up till it shoots out through the top of the earth, to the ground. And it's going to hit the bottom of your feet. And this universal love light energy is going to shoot up and fill your body, starting with your feet, going up your legs, your calves, going all the way up through your belly, your chest, your shoulders, going up past your face, all the way up. And you're going to picture this light shoot out the top of your head and form a force field, a shield around you that goes out 30 feet in every direction. This is to encompass your energy field. Once you have this around you, you're going to say an intention, because we're going to ground ourselves. I want you to repeat after me. I am tapping into universal love light energy.
I am tapping into universal love light energy.
So I don't deplete my own energy source.
So I don't deplete my own energy source.
And I am grounding myself in love and light to Mother Earth.
And I'm grounding myself to love and light to Mother Earth.
And so it is, and so it shall be.
And so it is, and so it shall be.
Okay, we're going to do this 2 more times. I am tapping into universal love light energy.
I am tapping into universal love light energy.
So that I do not deplete my own energy source.
I do not deplete my own energy source.
And I am grounding myself in love and light to Mother Earth.
And I am grounding myself to love and light to Mother Earth.
And so it is, and so it shall be.
And so it is, and so it shall be.
1 more time. I am tapping into universal love light energy.
I am tapping into universal love light energy.
So that I do not deplete my own energy source.
I do not deplete my own energy source.
And I am grounding myself in love and light to Mother Earth.
And I'm grounding myself to love and light to Mother Earth.
And so it is, and so it shall be.
And so it is, and so it shall be.
So this was important to do because this is grounding you to earth, because we're going to go to the Akashic Records, which are the heavenly realms, so you can still have that connection and don't get lost in the ether. So now that we are grounded, and now that we have shields up, and we have this light emanating from us, I want you to picture in front of you an elevator door that just kind of opens up in front of you, that you're going to step into. This elevator can be modern. It can be, old school time where you have to get in and close the things and then turn the knob to go up. Or you could get in, it could be electronic and you push the buttons to the top floor. Whatever you see, but I want you to step into this elevator. And I want you to look around when you step in this elevator. I want you to be aware. What colors do you see? Is it wood paneling? Are there mirrors? What kind of ceilings is there? Are there lights? I really want you to get in touch with the surroundings and really feel it as if you are really there right now. Go ahead, push the button to the top. And slowly we feel ourselves rising up, going up, 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 up. It seems like a long time because we're going up to the heavens. Slowly, slowly going up, dinging on each what seems like a floor. These are different levels. Up, up through the dimensions. All right, here we are at the top. We've reached our destination. The doors open. And there is someone there that is ready to greet you. Be it a loved one, a guide, a guardian angel. You step outside and introduce yourself. And you ask their name. And they tell you. They will ask you, child, what is your desire? What is it that you want to know? Say, we are here to see our Akashic record. I would like to know about my past, my present, and my future. Can you please take me there and guide me? And as you look around you, you're going to see that you're in a great hall, a giant library of sorts. It can be from any period in time. It can be from the Greek time, Roman times, modern times. See the giant columns. See the giant windows. Are there people walking past you? Does it seem to be busy? Is it quiet? Is there any music playing? Taking these surroundings as you walk along, as your guide takes you to your own personal record. As you walk along, you come down a corridor where there are all these different doors, each one leading to someone's own personal viewing room. As you keep going along, you finally come to a stop as your guide presents you with your door. Go ahead and open it. What do you see? Are you in the Garden of Eden? Are you in a place surrounded by your favorite things? Or are you in a room that's like the library, where you sit at a desk? How would you like your Akashic records to be presented to you? See it. I see a big book. It's presented to me, and I sit down and I start to read. I want you to ask your guide any questions about your past, about your present, about your future that you would like to know. Are there past lives that you've been through that have created karma that you need to heal in this life? Ask what it is so that you can learn how to heal it. Are there ambitions and dreams for the future that you have? Ask about the possibilities. Are you feeling stuck where you are in your present? Ask what the Akashic Records say to how you can move past this. Now we're going to take the next few minutes, or as long as you want, to sit with our records and gain the information and the knowledge that we would like to know. Continue your breathing as you sit there and allow your mind to be free. Allow your mind to open. Allow your mind to access the information you so desire. Open yourself up. Let it flow. Let the visions come in and let yourself see. You are there. You are free. You are accessing the information you seek. If you feel your mind drifting, it's okay. Let it flow. See where it takes you. See the visions that come before you. There could be a message in it. Is there a desire or a dream that you have? See yourself in your future. See yourself in exactly what it is that you want to be. You are truly the creator of your own reality. Just allow yourself along the journey. We're slowly going to start to gather the information that we have. Remind ourselves that we're going to remember the information that we've gotten, that we are taking with us the information that we need. And when you are ready, tell your guide that you are ready to return. And know that once you have accessed this, you can return back to it at any time. You can go and learn more. You can access more. You can learn different destinies. All you got to do is go in meditation, find your guide, and have him take you there. So slowly what we're going to do is we're going to walk back out the door of the room that you're in. We're going to walk back down the corridor, all the way back into the vast hall of records that you entered in. Walk all the way back to your beautiful elevator. It's time to say our goodbyes to our beautiful guide. Know that they are never ever away from you though. This guide is with you always. He was just there to make sure to greet you. He will go back with you and meet you down there. Go ahead and step back in the elevator and hit the button for the bottom floor. And slowly we're going to go back down through the different dimensions, down through the different levels, down through the different floors, down, 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 down. Till we gently hit our ground floor. And the doors open up. And here we are back in our own reality. So at this time, we take our time to come back into our reality of space. Take some deep breaths and open your eyes when you are ready. Welcome back.
Wow.
How was it?
Wow. Yeah, I was seeing some stuff,
Yeah.
It
It's
wasn't a
interesting
library
for
though.
me when I
Hmm?
walked in, I said that about the Garden of Eden because that's what I was so shown in mine.
Oh yeah, mine
Yeah.
wasn't mine wasn't really like a library, but it was something like this really really big mansion type home,
Yeah.
you know, but it has like a lot of corridors and stuff.
Yep.
But like it's overlooking what do you call the like a middle fountain area, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Beautiful.
And
I love it.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, you have now journeyed to the Akashic Records and you can access them at any time from now on, you know. You just got to go and talk to that guide that was there to greet you and ask them to take you there, and they'll take you there every time.
Yeah, I definitely have a little pass. Just like what I thought I did.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. It was and that's what I love about this too, is that you know, it's also validation. It's validation for the messages that you get. It's
Mhm.
validation for the things that we experience, you know. I mean, you know, I learn every day about different things, you know, that may have occurred in my past, or what I need to heal, whatever karmic lessons I need to heal that happened to me in the past, you know. So
You know, um, I'm not even sure about some things. I wish I was more comfortable.
yeah, exactly. Well,
Oh,
we'll have to explore
oh,
this when you're in a much more
yeah,
comfortable situation.
yeah.
I mean, normally I would have everybody laying down and we would
I
do the
know.
journey
Yeah,
that
yeah. It's kind of
way.
like, I mean, I was seeing some stuff, but I'm not sure if that's like my imagination or I don't know what it is.
It's, you know, I mean, imagination is vision.
Oh,
Imagination is, you know,
mhm.
creation. You
Yeah,
know, it's how we visualize, it's how we manifest. Our imagination is what we manifest from.
that's right. Yeah, yeah,
So, so whatever you saw, whatever you did, those are very valid and very much things that you should definitely explore for yourself and get to know more, you know. Like this is just a gateway, you know, entry in to get you going with it. It's up to you to pursue it and take it
So
even
you
further
you
than
you
that.
you have to ground yourself then before you do that. Then, right?
Anytime you do
Yeah.
any kind of meditation,
Okay.
anytime you do any kind of journeying, channeling, anything like that, you have to ground first.
Yeah.
Have to ground.
But you don't have to have it in that the way that you did it with the elevator, do you?
Oh no,
Okay. All right.
that's just one way, you know.
Oh,
Um, you know, I mean, you can, I've heard people like, you know, do stuff where they just ascend up, you know, or they're just, they look and there it is right there. They're just there and there's a hall of records and they enter it, you know. You don't have to do, like I said, you know, it's all about what resonates with you. It's all about what calls to you. It's all about what you know, what talks to you, you know. It's a, because all of this spirituality is a very, very personal experience that's unique to each and every
yeah.
single one of us, you know.
Yeah.
We have similarities in the things that we believe and the things that we see, but ultimately everybody's experience is unique and different, you know, and just as valid as anybody else's.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I know how to do that now, so I will go ahead and work on that.
Yeah,
Now it's
absolutely.
um okay. Now not a lot of people don't really. This is not a common thing for people to do, right?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Um,
I mean,
so
I don't mean just regular people. I'm talking about like people, psychics, and
no, I mean, you know, it's not. I mean, even within the spiritual community, it's, you know, something that not everybody really knows about, you know. It's something that's become much more. So there's certain things like, I don't really call them fads or whatever, but there's certain things that become popular within the spiritual world, you know. So one thing that we're going to talk about after this is about the twin flames. Twin flames is super huge right now. Everybody wants to know about twin flames, you know, and Akashic Records happens to be the second thing that's kind of big and huge within the spiritual community. And it's actually something I think is really important because, you know, in our ability to access the Akashic records is the ability to help us learn how to heal ourselves in aspects. You know, that's something I can't say enough, that everything that I do, everything that is about this world, about the spiritual world, all comes back down to healing ourselves, you know. Because when we're healed, we're whole and we're balanced and we can function and we can do things, you know. Makes it easier to go through life. It makes it easier to deal with, you know, the blind sides, the things that come out of nowhere, the unexpected, you know.
yeah. You know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this in two parts.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's it's kind of too long for one show.
Yeah, no,
Maybe
no,
I'll
that's
make it to
totally
two parts.
fine.
It's
I would
interesting.
love that. No,
Yeah.
that, and that's then I think that's what we were talking about before is there's so much information that can be given on each particular subject that,
Yeah.
you could talk for hours on it.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Okay. Well, so I'm gonna make this into two parts. So, but thank you for talking about the Akasha Records. I mean,
Absolutely.
for those people who may want to know, because I know you have you do different things outside. You want to tell us about that?
So I work as a psychic reader, a Reiki healer at lighttheway.com. So you can find me there, and my different services. I'm actually going to be in the near future, I'm going to be teaching a couple of classes on there as well, actually.
So what is
And
it? Light the way
yeah,
dot
like
com.
LITE theway.com.
Lighttheway.com. Okay.
And I'm on there with all of my with everything that I do. And then I also I'm actually working towards my mastership for Reiki right now. So I'm working, I should be hopefully by the end of the year a Reiki master. So that's something that I'm working on. I'm doing Reiki trainings and stuff. And then I also, within Light the Way, we also have a crystal shop. So we sell crystals as well. So I do lives on Facebook every Wednesday and Friday with selling
What
crystals.
time?
So that for Hawaii, it would be 2:30 in the afternoon on Wednesdays and Fridays. And then it's 5:30 Pacific, 7:30 Central, and 8:30 Eastern time.
And
On,
that's
on yeah,
lighttheway.com. And then that's on
Light the
Facebook.
Way, lighttheway.com, lightthewaycrystals.com on Facebook. Yeah, it's a Facebook page.
Lightthewaycrystals.com.
Yeah, Light the Way Crystals.
.com.
And Light the Way also has a Facebook page as well. And then I also have a Facebook group that anybody, I would love if anybody wants to learn about healing and spirituality and stuff. We do a lot there. It's called Sanctum of Souls.
And that's a group page on
Yeah,
Facebook,
yeah,
Sanctums of
it's
Soul.
a Sanctum
Okay.
of Souls, Healings and Spirituality, and that is a Facebook group
Okay.
that people can join.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna thank you for having, for coming on the show to
No,
talk
thank you
about
for
this.
having me. Thank you for letting me take you on that journey.
Yeah, I got to do it some more when I'm laying down and more comfortable.
Absolutely.
I think I think there's a part of me that's a little distracted because I'm doing this.
Yeah,
Uh,
no. So it
so
does, it makes it a really hard thing because we're in the middle of the interview to do the meditation and to
but I
take
but I
yourself there and
yeah,
to have to come back. So I totally understand. But at least you know the journey now,
yeah, I do.
and so it's something that you can do. I mean, you can take yourself on this before bed, it can be a nice little meditation before you go to sleep to drift off. And then, you never know, even though you don't remember your dreams, you might actually have some stuff that happened in there to bring back some of those memories, and help you work through whatever it is that you're working on.
Yeah, so if anybody's watching out there, then YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like it, and then don't forget to hit that bell so you can be notified when the next interview would be. Um, and then, of course, also my podcast. If you're listening on my podcast, you can hear this also on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, and on modstapradio.com. Um, Next week, my guest is Anastasia, Cosmic Astrologer. She will be. I don't want to say what she's going to talk about, but she is. She does a lot of things: evolutionary astrology, esoteric astrology, modern astrology, medieval, and so many different things. So that's my guest for July 10. And I got Jules Maxwell from Dead Can Dance, who he just made an album out with Lisa Gerard called Burn. He's going to be on the show on July 17. And then I got Troy from The Wake, July 24th. Chris Connolly of Ministry and Phoenix Tribe. He collaborated with Monica Queen. They have a new album called The Birthday Poems. He will be on, I think it's the ending part of July or early August. Then we also got Martin Bowles of Patrician. He has a new EP out called Alibi, and his new album will be called The Black Mariah, which is going to be coming out sometime in the year. he would be the guest as well, and I believe that's going to be in August. So that I think I named everybody else, and then I'm going to be interviewing John Fryer in LA because I'm going to be DJing with him, sharing the stage with him, and so he will be. I'm going to do an interview with him in LA and really bring that back here, show it here. So
That's gonna be
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
I'm excited.
yeah.
You
Thank
have
you
an
very much.
awesome lineup coming up for sure.
Yeah, just want to mention that. But thank you, Davin, for being my guest on the Akashic Records. I think
Absolutely. Thank
yeah, I
you
mean
for having me.
it's
Thank you
definitely
for allowing me to
I
bring
mean
all that information.
if anybody's listening out there, then if they have no idea what it is, now they know.
Yes, it's important
Yeah.
for us to know these things.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, one second.